houses locally as well as in New York and LA. Neil describes his material as basically observational, mostly comedic vignettes with lyrical and poetic overtones. Neil's shows, and he does many, incorporate music, unique forms of percussion, and sound effects. What do you think? Neil describes many of the greatest influences on his art as some of the icons of the beat 50s and early 60s. She didn't hear that. Jack Kerouac, Gregory Corso, Mort Saul, Lenny Bruce, and Bob Dylan. Neil recently released a collection of poems titled Fine Lines to Ponder and Cross. Neil admits to having a definite sense of mission. He says, I know that the time is at hand for me to broaden both my vision and my work, which fittingly brings him to Arsenal. Yes. Oh. And Robert, do you remember Robert or Rob? Rob. Yeah. Rob. Okay. And Quintua?
Quintua.
All right, I did it. Robert Quintua brings a very fresh perspective to his music, combining his DJ background with today's cutting-edge electronica. He also combines his expertise playing sax, vocals, and blues into many of his compositions. Rob will be joining Neil, adding his musical voice in the form of some mean harmonica, blues harp, as well as, I never heard this term, DJing for you. See, I'm just not there. And so.
To her, a DJ is the guy on the radio that used to spin the records and that kind of thing.
Yes, so we warmly welcome you and.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. We're going to go from Paris to South Philly. What a trip this is going to be here. Anyway, good evening. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Susan. I appreciate that. I couldn't have written it better myself. So in fact, I didn't. But anyway, yes, indeed, I am Neil. This is Rob, and this evening we're going to take you on a little journey by way of some spoken word and laced with some musical, rhythmic little riffs. So, anyway, but first, let's do a little background, okay? If I were to describe myself as a kid growing up in South Philly, I would say that I was skinny, sensitive, philosophical, and Jewish. Qualities that didn't exactly endear me to the tough Italian Rocky Balboa types of which the area mainly consisted. You just didn't win points by being intelligent, articulate, or sensitive in my old neighborhood. That's the way it was. As a matter of fact, even the language in South Philly was very simple. All you needed to know were 4 letters and 1 sentence, and you could talk to anybody. A-I-O-U, and take it easy. That was it. That's all you needed to know. You could talk to anybody on any subject. Let me give you an example. Here's a typical South Philadelphia argument over money. Hey, you owe. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. I owe you? Hey, oh, whoa, 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 you owe. Hey, 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 oh, whoa, 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 you owe. Oh, I owe. Take it easy. That was it. So everybody understood it. Oh, listen to this. I remember this one conversation where this one guy accidentally said OG. The other guy had to go look it up. Yeah. Well, anyway, that was it with South Philly. You know, the Beach Boys kept singing about it. Okay, so my curiosity about endless summer days, surfer girls, and a strip called Sunset got the better of me. And I decided to forego the asphalt and cement in South Philly for the alleged sun and fun of LA. Well, after painfully discovering that dark-haired, light-skinned Jewish guys who write poetry don't fare too well on Malibu Beach, I shook the sand off my feet, packed a bag, and bade a not-so-fond adieu to the so-called City of Angels. Goodbye, LA. Have a nice day. Goodbye, LA. land of the no-shows, graveyard of unfinished projects. Goodbye, LA. Maybe someday we can do lunch. I'll pencil you in. I'll miss your freeway convenience. Bumper car byways of vented frustration and angst. Thoroughfares testing my true capacity for love and patience towards myself and my fellow man. Goodbye, LA, with your pretentious outdoor cafes, filled with the din of wired cappuccino spark conversations, and Hollywood coffee shop patrons spewing forth a never-ending plethora of monotonous showbiz war stories. Goodbye, LA, home of the wannabe, who ain't gonna be. I'll miss not seeing the air I breathe, or feeling the tremulous ground on which I stand, or hearing the breaking waves of the ocean in which I never swim, and all those breathtaking views of all those mudsliding homes. Goodbye, LA, your culture in remission, occasionally resurrected by a sparse community of dedicated malcontents, contributing their humanity by way of verse, prose, and paints. Goodbye, LA, your racial climate not impeccable like your weather, your warmth not as exquisite as your women, your economy not as healthy as your cuisine, your community non-existent like your charm. Goodbye, LA, the gospel of the Beach Boys drawing throngs of pallid-faced migrants to your shores, and relentless actors breaking down doors, and Midwest girls becoming whores, and strung-out junkies making scores. Goodbye, LA. Ain't much more to say, except your cheesesteaks suck. Thank you, Rob. LA also left me with some memorable dating excursions, let's put it that way. Let me tell you about this one lady, okay? She was a 40-something poet with a 20-something bod, face that's nice and attractively odd, with a tattoo on her butt for just the right touch of sleaze, if you please. Had a voracious appetite for books, but not food. Like pool rooms and beer when it's hot. Knew all those great, but obscure poets. Embarrassed the hell out of me. Don't get much past the Ferlinghetti, Corso, Kerouac genre myself. We sit on her front steps reciting poems. She's reading me Randy Newman lyrics. Her passion makes his words sound like the gospel. This lady really turns me on. Undaunted by ill-fitting contraception and other assorted anxieties, we managed to make love that first weekend. I travel every inch of her sensuous terrain, committing the best of it to memory. Indelible impressions stored for future reverie. She had this cat that had this dog-like need for attention, on which she heaps loads of affection. A never-ending cascade of kisses, caresses, and strokes that I can only dream of. I find myself getting jealous. Jealous of her cat. What's up with that? All my elaborate attention-getting strategies come to naught when I see that furry little thing just curl up in her lap and purr. Yeah, let's get a little edgy. Sometimes her attitude can be misconstrued as rude, but she's just a lady with a whole lot of nerve, stating her truth without much reserve. Yeah, she's a 40-something poet with a 20-something bod. My God, how odd. It expired so quickly. Not part of the past, but I'll always consider our liaison a vision manifest, an answered prayer, a creative, spiritual, sexual collaboration that sprung into existence by way of the sacred common ground called art. And art, like love itself, eternally binds. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Rob, because that was his DJ piece tailored to this. I I just did, so thank you, Rob. And he's available for what is it, weddings, bar mitzvahs, bris, whatever?
Break dancing too, if we have any break dancing.
Yeah, talk to him later, right? And speaking of that, listen, Rob, while we're at it, let's give you a shot here. I know, because you're into the blues, I know you got some affair of the heart war story that you can share with us here. You want to go? Yeah. Do it. Let's hear something. What's that?
Play some.
Oh, you want me to? Oh, okay, sure.
Remember I asked you.
No problem, my man. Go ahead.
Kick it off.
Woke up this morning, stumbled out of bed, looked out my window, saw gray skies above my head. Yeah. Looks like there's a storm a brewing deep down in my soul. My baby done left me all alone. Yeah, she's long gone. Looks like it's gonna be a blue day.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot there. All right. Let's get hooked up on this next piece here. Let's take this out. Put this in. All right. Hello there. Okay. Now, this next effort came as a result of a trip to Disneyland with this lady and her two, let's just call them hyperactive kids, which turned out to be a veritable nightmare, producing this outcry. How or why I've been spared the fate of siring neurotic ingrates on the planet, I'll never know. But I'll be forever grateful for the exempt status. The children, demanding little tyrants, born of the words I want. Short fused little time bombs ready to explode at the slightest hint of supposed deprivation. Bottomless pits devouring a never-ending supply of toys, candy, and all manner of things that glitter. Unpredictable creatures who, when glutted with fulfilled desires, may momentarily retreat from their perpetual demands, giving us a temporary respite in their cuteness, playfulness, and sense of wonder. But alas, the joy is fleeting, a mere flirtation. The reservoir of goodies again needs replenishment. We soon hear the familiar cry, more, more, more. They inhabit a world where enough is never enough, and too much is the ultimate fiction. The real fairy tale. Woe be it to the fearful and beleaguered dispensers of these goodies, who most surely will feel the wrath of the little ones should these gifts cease to be forthcoming. The little hands that take get larger with the passage of time. The demands continue, only the packaging changes, ever depleting the parent benefactor who, upon expiration, will bequeath whatever's left of their worldly possessions to the anxiously awaiting offspring. Is this effort the result of my unbearable compassion towards my fellow grown-ups? Or perhaps a mirror is being held up for me to look into? Wait a minute, I see the reflection. Ah, it's one of those neurotic ingrates glaring back at me. Wait a minute, there's something very familiar about this image. What do you know? It's me! The screaming tyrannical tyke in the glass is me, all grown up and still consumed by unquenchable wants and desires. Thank you. Scoo-ba-dum-doo-da, scoo-ya-doo-bop, ski-doo-bop, ska-da-bum-bop, ska-ba-dum-doo-da-dee-ba-da-bee-ba-da-bee, skoo-doo-bop, jazz. Love jazz. The reason I like, it's hard to describe exactly why, but let me try to get close as I can. The reason I like jazz so much is because it kind of moves, you know, the way my mind moves, or maybe better put, it works the way my mind works. Skadum-doo-ya-da, skadum-doo-ya-da, skadum-doo-ya, 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 like that. You know, it's kind of my favorite kind of music, but you know, I start to think of it.
Family that feels supported or encouraged.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Rob, stop padding your part, will you? Anyway. Anyhow, yeah, it's my favorite, but you know, I hear music all around me all the time. I mean, like, the world, to me, is like one big orchestra. And there's music lurking everywhere if you just listen. You know what? Screaming sirens, heels clicking on cement, the pounding jackhammer, chirping car alarms. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you're not hearing some form of music in just about everything, you're probably not listening closely enough. In fact, life is a rhythm. Life is a beat, from the birds in the trees to the sounds of the street. Life is a rhythm. Life is a beat. Comes right through my voice, down and out through my feet. Life is a rhythm. Life is a beat. The riff's real simple, nice, clean, and neat. Life is a rhythm. Life is a beat. It's what makes it all make sense. It's what makes it all complete. Life is a rhythm. Life is a beat. It continues all the time while you sleep, breathe, and eat. Whether life serves a meal that's sour or sweet. I tell you, life is a rhythm. Life is a beat. Now you can find it in the climate, be it cold, rain, and heat. From the campus on the college down to Sesame Street. No words are even needed when the rhythm's complete. Do you bop, do you da beat? Do you bop, do you da beat? See how life's a rhythm, life is a beat. Now I hope you all remember, so I'm gonna repeat. I tell you, life is a rhythm, life is a beat. Life is a rhythm, life is a beat. Life is a rhythm, life is a beat. Thank you. Thank you. What did I do? That's 20,
5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. All right. What do you want to do here?
Julie Bob.
Shiddly bop?
Talk about your
All
mother-in-law.
right, Blue Chili Bob. Probably they're wondering what the heck we're talking
Either
about.
that or we could do,
Yeah.
harmonica and banjo.
That's the,
We
the
did
shit.
we did that earlier, so.
All right, yeah.
City Hall.
All right, well, since I got a few minutes here, this is a work in progress, so I hope it's progressing enough for tonight. But anyway, this is, when I stand behind these, it kind of reminds me of a pulpit. So as a matter of fact, I call this like my bongo pulpit. So I want to give a little sermonette here. And here it is. Okay, let me just say one thing, okay? Never forget this. You don't know where you stand till that shilly bop hits the fan. See, you can pray all day for that pain to go away. You can run on the street, chant, rant, rave, go to Tibet, and live in a cave. You can radically change the way you behave. You can meditate, contemplate in some foreign holy land, go tripping in the desert, and melt into the sand. You can be Kafka, Kant, Buddha too, Gurdjieff, Watts, and that's just a few. Though your visions may be grand, things will get out of hand, and you'll soon know where you stand when that shilly bop hits the fan. Now you can go to fire walks, meetings and talks to promote your personal growth. Give it all up, become a monk, and take some vow of oath. Biofeedback to know when you're calm. Pay some psychic to mess with your palm. Check out the stars for which way to go. Heal yourself up, head to row. Join a commune, live off nuts and roots. Trash your convention along with those ties and suits. You can set goals, walk on goals on the body that's lean and tan. But you still don't know how it's really gonna go till that shilly bop hits the fan. Now go ahead and talk that lofty talk like you really know the score. But it's a whole other scene if you know what I mean when that tiger busts through that door. Who cares about your philosophical views, whether you be loser or winner? You start moving those feet and hauling that butt, lest you be on the menu as dinner. Now you may be some metaphysical giant, some spiritual superman, but in time, the Grim Reaper beckons, requiring payment on demand.